We're back. We're back. We're back. The coffee's flowing. It's 11:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Early stream. I want to get this stream in because the mini schnauzer's up on Underdog. $3 draft, 37,000 entrants. Almost filled up already. Came out yesterday. These are quick clocks, so 15-second or 30-second only. They also came out with the mini schnauzer 7, which is slow drafts. That's almost full as well. Assuming these fill up today, they come out with more drafts again. These cheaper end drafts fill up super quickly. We're actually about to be on the clock here. We're already in a draft. Pick 8. I can't seem to get away from these back half picks, man. 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I've been living in this range. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did do a draft last night. At pick 8, I picked JJ. Actually, he fell to me at pick 8. Breece Hall off the board. We're gonna stack our bags with AJ Brown. Again, we're super high on AJ Brown this year. Think he could be a top 3 guy. Not sure if the passing volume will be there to be the 1 overall, but I do think the Eagles and Jalen Hurts have a big year. I think Devontae Smith sees some regression in what he was doing last year, and I think AJ Brown gets locked back in as the guy, the go-to guy. So it should be exciting. Waddle consistently going at the turn. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I keep saying it every time we do these low end drafts that fill up quickly in a day or two, but you gotta be different. You gotta pick out of ADP because what's gonna be happening is everyone's taking guys in the same ranges here. We're gonna go Olave. Could have bought the dip on Gibbs, but that's the news we want to talk about. His hamstring does scare me a little bit. There hasn't been much update on it since it happened. Let's see if I can find something. They haven't really specified what it's been, so not the best sign. Here we go, 2 hours ago. Dan Campbell believes hamstring is going to be fun. Not the disaster some have feared. I think we're going to be fine, so I think we'll be good. They still haven't come out and said what it really is, and it's been 2 days. So as much as coach speak wants to say it's going to be fine, that's not what you want to hear. You don't want to they ran tests. They pretty much know what is going on there. And they're not giving us the full spiel. So not the best news. Hamstring injuries for obviously skill position guys, high burst guys is not what you want to see. See that a lot in receivers with that quick twitch off the line, and then you'll see it obviously with these high twitch quick burst running backs, which not every running back is, but Jahmyr Gibbs is that explosive like 4 guy, right? What was his 40? Yeah, 4.36. So hamstring at a guy running that fast is pretty concerning, especially getting this close to the season. More so about being rushed back and then re-injury risk going into the early part of the season if they do decide to rush that back. He does end up falling just to the pick after me to the Breece Hall team. We're about to be on the board. We go AJ Brown, Chris Olave. I wouldn't mind buying the dip on Mike Evans here. That's what we're going to do. Now, it does look like a decently heavy running back room. Where Pacheco's off the board early. Henry's off the board at ADP. But again, once we get early round receivers, we can start to pivot over and have more options at running back, especially later in this thing. Especially with New Orleans, Kamara goes later. We can get Rachaad White potentially to stack with Evans. So we have options. Let me look at the Eagles playoff schedule, fantasy playoff schedule. Well, if we're going to take a look and build around these guys. Do have the potential to build a Hurts stack if we want. So the Eagles go Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys in the playoffs. Do we up our Jalen Hurts bags? Again, this is 15-second pick clock, so not a lot of time to think. Got to keep going. I think we're just going to up our Hurts bags. Again, he's my number one quarterback heading into this year. We get him at QB2, so not anything outstanding. And this isn't going to be a super unique build with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts, but it gives us room later to build around Cowboys, Steelers, and Commanders. And then also, if we look at like Saints schedule, end of the year Saints schedule, Raiders, Packers, Commanders. So we could look for Commanders. Let's look at the Bucks. Bucks have Cowboys, Panthers, Chargers. So we could look to build around Cowboys, Commanders. So we're taking anybody from these teams. So we're going Philly, New Orleans, Tampa, and then we're looking for Cowboys, Commanders, as those are going to be teams that are going up against these three teams in the fantasy football playoffs. So weeks 15 through 17. Other news to mention, running back news, Tyrone Tracy, the backup in New York, or potentially the backup in New York, depending on what Eric Gray does, to be behind Devin Singletary, will be Tyrone Tracy, hopefully. Super athletic, quick burst guy, again, playmaker, returns kickoffs and things like that. Ended up only being a lower ankle injury, lower ankle sprain the other day at practice, even though he got whatever. It seemed more serious than it was. Not as serious. Running backs fly off the board here. Again, we're looking Commanders, Cowboys. I don't see anything with Commanders, Cowboys. We'll go Godwin. So true no RB build again. All these guys in the back half are going no RB right now. Besides Sigap. Still no RB. So we're going to look to get Rachaad White. Not sure if that will happen. I'm not opposed to reaching on Kamara either if I can't get White. Mix it off the board. I would expect this guy potentially goes running back. Not a given. Goes Ken Walker. Don't think running back's off the board here, so we can get White. Question is, do we want White or do we want Kamara? Let's reach a little bit on Kamara. I don't necessarily think I want Rashad White with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. And if we did want to build like a mega stack there, we could go Bucky Irving late, really late. We can get Kate Otten late, and we can still look to pivot through like Baker as QB. Like, let me just queue up guys so we can get a QB. We already have Hurts, so not stressed about anything. Baker would be the guy to get a QB, and he doesn't go until super late, like 164. So we're chilling till then. Again, still looking for Dallas and Washington builds as well around these three teams. Sipping on iced coffee. Double espresso oat milk with a little bit of honey. Again, these drafts move fast. Hopefully we can rip a second one. Hopefully this goes fast enough where it doesn't completely fill until we're back into the lobby, which we should be able to rip 2 today. That's only at 32,576, so that's still got like 4,700 entries left. I guess other news is the Brandon Ayuk news, which obviously has been going on for weeks now, with where he's gonna go, blah blah blah. Steelers in, Steelers out. But knowing me, knowing us here, Steelers fans, the offer's on the table, and the Niners like the offer and would accept it if they didn't think there was still a chance they could get Ayuk back home. Let's pivot to our pick here. We do need RB. I think we're gonna pivot to Fergie though, just to get a Cowboy in there. So far, we build wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver. Don't pick a running back till the 6th round, similar to the other no RB builds. We get Kamara, get Ferguson here again, building around playoff schedules weeks 15 through 17. So getting like the matchups with Dallas, New Orleans, Tampa, Philly, and then the Commanders are a part of that too. Back on the clock, gotta pivot, think quick here. We'll take a stab at Zamir. Not correlated to our build, but we will take our second running back there. I don't have a lot of Zamir White. If you take a look at like the Raiders schedule, well, that's nice because the Raiders play the Saints, Jags, Falcons, so we get the Saints correlation. So now we're looking Raiders, Cowboys, Commanders, and then any of the teams on this list here. But anyway, back to what I was saying with the Ayuk stuff. It's looking like a real good shot he does come to Pittsburgh. The Niners do have an offer on the table. He hasn't accepted it, which means he doesn't think it's enough money. They're maybe going to try to counter that. I don't know how much money they have to pay him when they're going to have to pay Purdy pretty soon. And they already have a ton of guys that are being paid a bunch of money, but it should be interesting. I really hope he comes here to Pittsburgh. I think we could have a sick offense. I know a lot of guys hate Russell Wilson, but come on, man. Like, not your average QBs. Not many average QBs are out here winning Super Bowls, right? Like, and he's been to 2-1-1, so he knows what it takes. He knows the pressure. He can handle all that. Whether or not he has the skill set anymore is another story, but he's still better than some QBs in the NFL. I'd say he's bottom 10. He's at the top of that list. So still a guy people want, just in terms of like experience. But yeah, I think we have a shot, a real good shot. I don't know what our next pick here is going to be. Dak's still on the board. That is an option for us. Dak off the board. So now we're thinking B-Rob or Shaheed. We'll pivot to B-Rob. We'll get Brian Robinson and still have the chance for Rashid Shaheed on the way back. If not, Brandon Cooks is there. Dallas Goedert, if we want to double down there. Goddard, Cooks, Myers. Shaheed off, so looking towards one of Goddard or Cooks. We go Goddard, we have a pretty elite tight end room and we can shut it down. We'll jump on to Dallas Goedert. We'll get the Goddard, AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts stack. We're done at tight end. We'll look to build a 2 quarterback build here too with Baker. Again, Baker's going at 164. We should be able to get Baker. And then something I've been doing, if I don't end up getting the quarterback I want in the later rounds, I do just take an unstacked Danny Dimes sometimes, or you can stack up like Slayton, Jalen Hyatt late. Just because he's a quarterback with the rushing upside where you don't have to stack him necessarily. Purdy, T-Law back to back. Guy goes Jaden Daniels, Brock Purdy. No correlation with Purdy yet. Could go Ricky Purcell or Jawan Jennings late. Dowdle off at 121. That's, I guess, not that early. The upside play is there. What's the Browns schedule? Okay, so we could be looking Zeke. We could be looking Eckler. We probably should jump to receiver, though. We don't need to have correlation. So if we go Eckler, we just stack those guys. We'll go Zeke to continue the Dallas trend. We won't double down on Eckler, so we'll have to look for like Dotson. Doesn't matter. Eckler goes. So looking for. Well, never mind. Not looking Jahan Dotson. Don't know why he goes there, but now we're kind of free to do whatever. Could honestly pivot on to Darnell Mooney. If Polk doesn't fall. But yeah, we're just going to pivot to Darnell Mooney with Atlanta. And I think they were correlated to, yeah, the Commanders and the Raiders. So nice. So pretty solid build here. Gonna go to, we have options here. So 2772 or 2682. Probably more towards the 2682 build with Hurts, Baker at quarterback. If we really wanted to pivot late quarterback, we still have an option at Kirk. No, we don't. Kirk Cousins is off the board. Where did he go off the board at? He goes off at 133 to the Drake London team. I get why you do it and why you reach there. It is 11 spots above ADP. But understandable just to get him and lock him in. Not many teams going unstack Kirk Cousins probably, but so if we're looking now, each team in the back half has one quarterback. The team at the end has two. None of them have Rashad White, so I doubt anyone goes Baker. We're not getting into the Cade Otton range at all. I mean, a little bit, but I don't think anyone reaches on Baker unstacked. So I think we're safe waiting for him at 161. Well, we can look at a receiver here. Looking at Pop Douglas. We'll go to Mario Douglas. No correlation there. Kind of moving off that correlation a bit besides Baker. Just because now we're in the range of like need-based picks. So I need to keep building a receiver. We end up going no RB build up until the 6th round, and then we go running back, tight end, running back, tight end, running back, and don't grab more receivers till the 12th. So we go 4 receivers in the first 5 rounds and don't get one for the next 7. So need to build back that back half there with potential. I'm not sure. Maybe we go Bateman here. No, we need to go Baker. Almost forgot. But yeah, we go Baker Mayfield. So we get our stack up with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Baker Mayfield. We get our 2 quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts, Baker. Get our 2 tight ends, Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert. So now we can build around any of these running backs. And we have options, so we can build a 7 running back room and a 7 wide receiver room. We can build a 6 running back room and an 8 wide receiver room. We can build a 5 running back room and do a 9 wide receiver room. We're pretty flexible and open to what is possible right now. With the way this team builds out, I'm pretty comfortable with Jalen Hurts just being my rock. And then Baker just picking up slack, hopefully. Again, with Jalen Hurts being my number 1 guy, I'm not too concerned about secondary help. This Hurts should be putting up like 20. It's going to be hard to beat what he's putting up a week. So we have 2 premier tight ends. Getting very comfortable where we're at with this draft. We're only 26 minutes into this stream. We only got 3 more rounds, 4 more rounds. So right now we're just going to take best value on board. We're about to be up. I'd buy the dip on Marshawn Lloyd. I'll buy the dip. $19 picks at past ADP. I'll buy it. I'll do it. I have no correlation to the Packers, but we need running back, best on board. And voila. And they do have correlation with the Saints, so. I'm comfortable there. We could always go like Bo Melton later. I'm not gonna pick McMillan. I don't want 3 Bucks receivers. I'm thinking we go Tolbert with our Dallas build if he falls. Woods, I don't know. Okay, so we'll go Tolbert as our 7th receiver. So again, right now, just picking best available picks for us that are on the board. Not being afraid to move past ADPs. Not being afraid to take dips on guys. So yeah, just building out what we think is best positionally for us, and then yeah. So again, I think Marshawn Lloyd 19 picks past ADP, where we're not really worried about having him in the beginning of the season, even if he is injured. He could create a role. I mean, slow start on an injury for a rookie, so creating a role will be harder, but if he's good and explosive as they say. And Jacobs gets hurt. Obviously, this is fantasy football, and you need everything, all the pieces to kind of land in the right spots for your team to move on and win, and especially in tournaments like this where there's thousands of people playing. You obviously need the cards to fall in your favor, but you can increase those odds and stuff. But yeah, this is a good build in my opinion. This is one of my better drafts recently. I've had some good ones starting out, and then they kind of crumble as the board falls apart. So this one, luckily, we play it right, we play it smart, and get our guys with our correlation. And this is probably one of the better builds you could get in terms of that. Where like all these guys are pretty correlated to all these playoff schedules, and not by randomness. So this will be interesting. What do we need here? We're going to go Dameon Pierce. So we'll go backup running back on a really high scoring offense. See where that leads us. Last pick coming up, we'll look to go receiver. Yeah, I'm not going to go running back. I think we go 2-6-8-2 build. And we'll just take a flyer on Johnny Wilson. If anything happens to Devonta Smith, maybe he gets a shot. But just to stack with Hurts and go along with Goddard and AJ Brown, we'll throw in Johnny Wilson there. So the team ends up, well, the order ends up going receiver, 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 quarterback, receiver, running back through 6 rounds. Then we go tight end, running back, tight end, running back. So just ripping tight ends and running backs off the board, complete our tight end room, pretty much complete the running back starters that we would want. Go receiver, receiver, quarterback, receiver, running back, receiver. So end up with a 2-6-8-2 build. Hurts, Mayfield at quarterback, Kamara, White, Robinson Jr., Elliott, Lloyd, Pierce for running back, Brown, Olave, Evans, Godwin, Mooney, Douglas, Tolbert, Wilson at receiver, and then a tight end, Ferguson and Goddard. So cool build overall. Let's jump into another one. Let's do a 30-second pick clock. Just slow it down a little bit, get a little more breathing room between picks, kind of talk them out. 15 seconds is fun though. Less time to think. You just gotta kind of react. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. And if you're not, obviously you're not gonna be ready to draft. Let's look up any news from today. Jordan Love not likely to play this week. Oh, I should mention while we're waiting in the lobby too, if any of you guys do want to end up playing with us on Underdog, get in any of these tournament drafts with us, or we can do leagues, like I can set up private leagues where you guys can join. If you do want to do that and you're new to Underdog, link in description. You can head over there, use my code Temptation. You'll get 50% deposit match up to $250 is what I still think it is. So if you deposit $250, you'll get an extra $125. That'll be $375 for you to draft with. Helps me out a little bit. It'll put a little bit of money into my account. Enables me to continue to do drafts for you guys. Not sponsored by them or affiliated. They don't pay me any money. That's just a free code that everyone gets. So if you guys sign up, you'll get that free code and you can pass that off to friends, family, and they can reap the rewards, and so can you. So super cool. Hope to one day be sponsored by Underdog. That'd be tight. Be able to draft for free or get paid by them. But as of now, not doing that. Trying to look what else hasn't been much injury news. We got the 3 spot too, which is nice. We haven't been up early. Maybe CMC falls to 3. JJ at 1. We're already in a wild room. This is crazy. Can we get CeeDee Lamb? I'm pretty sure we have 0 CeeDee Lamb this year. We in fact have 0 CeeDee Lamb. He goes CMC. We're gonna get CeeDee Lamb. Only dude I don't have out of all the first round draft picks. That's crazy. Okay. We do only have 1 share of CMC too, because unless you're in the first 2 picks, you're usually not getting CMC. 12% Jefferson, 6% Tyreek Hill, first share of CeeDee Lamb there. We got a lot of Amon-Ra, 16%, super high on him. Again, 6% Jamar Chase, 12% Bijan, 6% Brees. Even though I'm higher on Brees, I was taking a lot of Bijan just because he would go later. AJ Brown 9%, which we just did a draft with AJ Brown. That should tick up. Garrett Wilson 6%, Puka 6%, Gibbs 12%. Then I don't know how much Harrison we have. 3% Marvin, 12% Drake London. So yada yada yada. I could go through for days, but this will be our, what number draft is this? $16, $20, $25, $26. We are 47th draft or 48th of the year. Hoping to get at least a draft a day in. Not gonna be able to stream that every time until the season. I will be on a bachelor trip. I'll probably still do so. Actually, I don't know if it's legal in North Carolina. If I'm able to draft in North Carolina, I will. Not on stream, obviously. So I'll miss like 3 days there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But we should look to get, tomorrow we're what, 3 weeks away? Yeah, so tomorrow's 3 weeks from the season. We'll be able to get 21 more drafts, so we'll be around like the 70 range, hopefully. Go ahead too if you guys haven't. Link in description. Head over to our Instagram. Fantasy Spitters on Instagram. Pumping out posts daily. News stuff with injuries, training camp news posts, rankings posts coming out. Already did the first 12 QBs. Going to come out with the second 12 today. So that bottom half, 13 through 24. All the other rankings. Okay, so we're up. We got Lamb. Pick 22. I don't want to go Olave again. We'll go. We'll go Ayuk. Nothing different there with Ayuk because he would just come back around typically with us. Just with all these guys here, I'm not really sure what. This is the range of receiver I don't like. I'm not the biggest Chris Olave fan. I am a Kyron Williams fan though. much Kyron do we have? Cut 0 Kyron Williams because I haven't picked in the top. I haven't been able to pick around in this top 6, so like getting Kyron Williams is it's hard for me to do if I'm not reaching on him. When his ADP is 27, I'm reaching at like pick 16 because I'm always in that back half. It's tough. Got some fantasy drafts coming up for my home leagues too. Got a 14-man full PPR, 2 flex league. That's coming up Sunday the 25th. Gonna stream that probably. And then Thursday the 29th, got 10-man full PPR, dual flex there. That's my league. I run that league. 14-man I do not run. Those are the 2 leagues I'm in now. Did get offered to be in a super flex, but the draft date didn't work out. Big runner receiver this round. Not a single running back off the board. Derrick Henry's falling. Guys trying to be different. Guys trying to take their guys in this. I'd imagine. So let me look. Let's see what we can build this team around. Not going in these picks blind here. The Rams have the Niners, Jets, Cardinals. The Niners, Jets, Cardinals. So we don't have to worry about the Rams and the Niners. We could just build off that a little bit. So we're thinking Jets, Cardinals, Dolphins, Lions. Jets, Cardinals, Dolphins, Lions. So it's not looking like any of the Jets, Cardinals, Dolphins, or Lions are lining up with our ADPs. Henry and Pacheco fall very far in this draft. Kelsey at 39 seems solid. Let's take a stab at Kelsey here. Kyle Pitts goes at 45. What? Could go bully tight end. We go Lamar, ETN off. I'm gonna go Jacobs there, so we'll start with Kyron, Jacobs, Lamb, Ayuk, Kelsey. Interesting indeed. Maybe wanted to go Lamar there, but team after us goes bully tight end. Yeah, I'm not sure. That guy has Rashid Rice at that point. What the heck? Lamar off at 53. So we go receiver, receiver, running back, tight end, running back. Gonna pivot off running back for a while. Would like to go Dak with this build. Definitely need to double down a receiver on the way back. Which the receivers in that range, I'm not. They're kind of like risky guys. I mean, at this point, you're just running on that risk, but dude, this lobby, this is crazy. Like guys are just flying off the board randomly. Like people just taking shots downfield. It's been weird for sure. Weird type of draft. I mean, if Kittle did fall, that's an option. You have a ton of Kittle. Be looking like Kittle. Kittle goes good. Be looking like Deontay, Christian Watson, McConkey. Christian Watson goes at 65. Hopefully one of those two we pinged up. Ridley off, Keenan Allen off. Probably already have too many of those those two guys. Again, gonna look to pivot receiver, Deontay off. Dude, all of our guys are off. Holy crap. Montgomery goes. Do I buy the dip there? I think I can. We're gonna go. We're gonna go Mixon. I know I said we need receivers, but in that range, I'm just not comfortable going double receiver there, running on rookie, 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 rookie. Again, it puts us in a tough spot with receiver being hammered, but now guys are going to go running backs and we're hopefully going to get some value back around. Chance at all, I mean, we're going to get one of the two guys here, one of the two rookies. We will go Brian Thomas over Keon Coleman. Nervous about Keon Coleman just in terms of his ability to make plays and get open. So gonna ride B. Thomas, where probably in an offense that will want to throw the ball more, considering what we saw with Buffalo at the end of last season. And then obviously their situation at receiver this year should make them more inclined to be a run first team. Whereas Jacksonville could probably be a little more pass happy with Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas, and Christian Kirk and Travis Etienne's ability to catch the ball. So we'll go with the team that I think is going to be. Although I made the bet on Jacksonville last year, their offense was going to be a little better. Or I thought they were going to be better. Didn't really pan out that way. I thought they could have been top 10. It just really didn't get there. So this one's more like a no correlation build. I'm just winging it. But again, we do need a hammer receiver. We go 2 receivers, and then we just go running back, tight end, running back, then Brian Thomas. So it's looking receiver. Unless we're getting Dak, or we just wait on Purdy. I don't know. Should be interesting. Zamir White off the board. We're about to be up. See what we're cooking with. Cooking with that sauce. Yeah, we're going with Cortland Sutton if he drops. Really hoping he does. I don't want to, I won't say don't want to go Dobbs, but we'll go Sutton there. I think we pass on Dak. Doesn't matter, Dak goes. We could go Jordan Love at QB9. I think we go Palmer. Jordan Love goes anyway. We have a ton of Josh Palmer. Let's continue the bet on Josh Palmer. He's my favorite guy. Like, I'm at 19%. He's going to be my most drafted receiver. But that sets us up for Jay Herbert. We're set up for Stafford a little bit. Purdy still if he falls. Things are possible here. Also on the clock for a weekly winner, slow draft. My team is McCaffrey, Pacheco, Adams. So I wanted to check. Burks on the board. Just trying to figure out who to take there. Lions, Dolphins, or Rams. Browns. Again, in weekly winners, you want to try to build around a specific game. So KC's playing who? Well, the KC thing lines up with the Raiders too. Getting Hollywood's probably a must. Definitely think I'd go Hollywood. I need receivers there because on the way back, it's not looking great. Okay, we're about to be up in the next pick. So far, Kyron, Jacobs, Mixon, Lamb, Ayuk, Thomas, Sutton, Palmer, Kelsey. Purdy still on the board. We will take Brock Purdy as our first quarterback off the board. Brandon Cooks is an option. We're so stacked at running back, there's really no reason. Really looking at these two receivers for right now. Polk off the board. Buy Judy at cost. Reach on a Donovan Mitchell. Cooks is gone. That kind of frees up what we can do. Don't really want running back, but at the same time, don't want Jerry Judy. We'll do it. The playmaking ability is there. The upside on Jerry Judy's there. It's more a matter of what they do on offense. Other play for me was going to be Rico Dowdle, but pivot off that. Again, this team is really no correlation, just kind of wild up in the air, but We'll run it. It's so hard to take a running back there when we already have 3 RB1s. Kyron Jacobs Mixon. Like, it's hard for us even to want to take anybody there. And that's why it's so frustrating taking running backs so early. Is like you get to the later rounds and you get stuck in that where it's you like all the guys at price there. But what are you gonna do? Like, so hoping Herbert falls. If not, Stafford should be available there, and we can go to Marcus Robinson late. Again, Herbert for the Josh Palmer build. Could go QJ if you really wanted to late. Again, so the build was 2 receivers, running back, tight end, running back, running back. Follow that up with 4 receivers the next 5 rounds with Brock Purdy. Putting us in a position to probably have to take 3 quarterbacks. Also in the position where I'd be comfortable with 1 tight end potentially, aside from Kelsey. But probably gonna have to go like a classic 3-5-7-3. Weak at wide receiver, so probably can't go 3. Running back could be 4, honestly. Risky because of injuries, but not the craziest thing. Is Herbert gonna fall to us? That's the question. Who has McConkey? So you would expect Epex to be hoping for Herbert. I think we have to go Justin Herbert here to lock in our second RB and give us a chance at 2 quarterbacks. There's no receivers on the board that are really popping out besides Ricky Purcell that I would be willing to take, but assume that he could fall. Also very happy just taking Justin Herbert here at cost. I could be pretty content going 2 QBs there. And if we really had to pivot, like Bo Nix is an option really late. But now likely onto taking Rick. I stand corrected, not taking Ricky or Jalen Wright. Maybe taking the bet on J.K. Dobbins. We're about to be up at 9% Algier, 9% Dobbins. Just go Algier off solely because of his potential to be a workhorse back and a pretty solid offense this year versus we make the bet on Herbert and Palmer, but I make the bet on the passing game and not the running game, where there's really no correlation to having to have J.K. Dobbins. And I do think that while I do have a lot of Gus Edwards, I'm not that stoked on the Chargers run game as a whole. It could end up being like a 3-man committee. So I'd rather have more of Tyler Algier than J.K. Dobbins, even if it means sacrificing some correlation, because this team's already cooked off a correlation. Like, we're not really concerned by that. And I think Algier can have a role throughout the season. Less injury prone. Can't predict injuries, but as someone who has just had a ton of them, J.K. Dobbins. Wow, given unlucky. That's just, I don't know. People are high on him, but I don't know. I guess time will tell. We'll find out what really happens here. But again, we will look to add some more receivers coming back. We'll also be looking to get out my post today. Herbert off at 159. PFF saying fade Kyron Williams. That's crazy. Okay, we're on the clock. Not looking running back here. Going to Marcus Robinson. Probably going to regret fading Adam Thielen, but am I? Chuba off. Okay, so now we're open to do kind of whatever. We could take Hunter Henry. Could continue to pack my bags with Hunter Henry. Dealing with minor injury, not worried. Stack it up, lock it in. Continue to pack our bags with Hunter Henry. Late. Fading Kyron's crazy. Like, what is the Rams depth chart? Who'd they have behind Kyron? Like, what? Hit Ronnie Rivers and Boston Scott. So not, yeah. Definitely not. I'm definitely not fading Kyron Williams at the price point too. Like, especially an underdog going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 as the 8th running back off the board. He was the running back 2 in points per game. Like, what are we getting off to? Number 7 in total points. If he doesn't miss games, obviously he's second behind Christian McCaffrey, and running backs are gonna miss games. Like, miss. Why are running backs so short? Okay, coming back up on the board. Baker falling so far down. Jermaine Burton falling. 2472 build. These will be our last 2 picks. Actually, I lied. We have 3 picks left. Quarterback wise, I don't know. I wouldn't mind ripping some DJ Chark here. We're gonna go estimate though. Lock up our running back. We can't get Chark. We pivot to Troy Franklin, maybe? Jermaine Burton off the board. Kobe Parkinson off the board. Jordan Mason off the board. So we will get one of Chark or Franklin. Hopefully Chark. He was a big player for me last year. Well, when Carolina when he scored that 2 touchdown game in the fantasy football playoffs. Vidal off. We will go DJ Chark. That'll close the running or the wide receiver room. The 2-5-8-2 build with one pick left at 214. So there we can look. Not gonna get Bo Nix most likely. Think we'll just run a 2 QB build with Purdy and Herbert. And then look for our third tight end instead of being Kelsey Henry, which we could run to. Let's see how the board falls, to be honest. I'm not opposed to that. While we wait for our pick though, let's go. We're gonna run a Instagram post here. Again, be sure to check that out. Link in the description to our Instagram at FantasySpitters. Got our QB rankings top 12 live there. Gonna be looking to post the 13 through 24 later today or tomorrow. But gonna post something right now. This will be our wide receiver values. We posted our wide receiver fades on ESPN. ESPN ranks only. Be a sneak peek into our values right now. We're going to be looking at Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, and Drake London. And then you can read why in our description. Bo Nix off the board. Yeah, let's download this. Okay, these are just based off. These posts are going to be based off ESPN ranks and ADPs. Obviously different in your league, but ESPN is just so casual and probably the biggest platform to draft on. All right, coming back around. Eric Gray off the board. Troy Franklin off the board. 205. Here was our start to the draft. 2 receivers, 3 running backs in those next 4 rounds with Kelsey, receiver, quarterback, running back, receiver. Then just flip and flopping based on values on the board, like we always do, right? The later rounds are more based on positional needs and then the values on the board for those positional needs, where if you still need a running back and a wide receiver and a tight end, then you can kind of just go ahead, pick your guy there. Don't worry about ADPs, especially later. It's all eye candy. Look down if you need to. Reach on some guys. Could look to be Dylan Lobb here to go 6 RBs. Don't need 6 RBs though. It's a pretty sturdy room, but at the same time, I don't think any of these other guys really do it for us. But go Jennings. We're going to go Lobb. So we go Purdy, Herbert at QB, Williams, Jacobs, Mixon. So very strong start at running back. Then Algier, Estime, Lobb. Guys that look to maybe have roles later in the year. Could become not necessarily bell cows or workhorses if the starter goes down, besides Algier, guys that could play roles in bad offenses. Algier obviously on a good offense. Then we go Lamb, Ayuk, Thomas, Sutton, Palmer, Judy, Robinson, Chark and Palmer and stacked with Herbert. Obviously Ayuk stacked with Purdy. Then we get Kelsey, Henry at tight end. 2-6-8-2 build. One of my more preferred builds this year, solely because I think there's a lot of QBs that are really good quarterbacks, players in the NFL, that are getting faded this year because their team projects to be bad. But if for some reason one of the two of these teams surprises you, there are guys that can score and score a lot. And again, I trust it. I think this is going to be a great quarterback year. I think a lot of guys can make a difference where guys are scoring 20 plus points this year. My take on it though. So yeah, that was it for the drafts today. We go ahead, we do 2 mini Schnauzer 6s. We do a 15-second and a 30-second. We get those teams in. Super fun draft. Been about an hour and a half. But now, gotta run, do some things. I'm gonna get this post out for wide receiver vibes on Instagram. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe on this video. If you are watching live or rewatching, whatever, appreciate it.